Hi guys, and today we've come to the pretty West Burton village in the Yorkshire Dales National Park, and we're going to photograph the Cauldron Falls. I have a long history of photographing waterfalls. Maybe it's for sentimental reasons. After all, my first ever published photo, which is on the screen at the moment, was actually of a waterfall in New Zealand. And I know some people think it's a little bit cliche photographing waterfalls, but it's just something I just never tire of, and something I enjoy doing time and time again. Now, whenever I'm photographing waterfalls, what I like to do is I like to walk around with my camera handheld first of all. Trying to find that perfect angle before I even compose my shot. And I find having the camera in hand makes that process just that little bit more simple. And then when I find the angle that I'm actually happy with, I then connect myself with the tripod and then fine tune the composition from there. Now for me, the tripod is an important piece of equipment for when photographing waterfalls, and that's because I like that sort of milky water effect, which I know now with IBIS is possible to do handheld, but sometimes I'm just a little bit old school and I just like to set a tripod up. Now with this waterfall, I'm very keen to basically have a nice foreground along with the waterfall in the distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this sort of plateau here as such, this nice water coming out of the rocks. There's been loads of rain, so the water's flowing really nicely. And I want to blur all this water out and then basically lead your eye around the frame up to the main waterfall itself. So quite a simple shot, but pleasing nonetheless, I think. So now I'm going to get the camera onto the tripod. I'm going to make sure it's bolted down nice and solidly. The last thing I want is for my camera to be falling off. And now I'm going to try and basically adjust my composition. And take a simple test shot and then readjust accordingly. And once I've got that angle I'm happy with, the magic can begin. Okay, so I've done a little bit of readjusting and rejiggling on my tripod. I'm on quite a small little rock shelf here, so I haven't got much space. But I've got an angle quite nice, I think. I am at about 30mm full frame, so not super wide angle, but I think that's perfectly adequate for this, to be honest, because there's a little bit of sort of branches and stuff which have been brought down in storms, which if I go too wide I'm going to get in. So I've tried to just isolate the details to what I want to be in the shot, which really it's all about this rock platform going out and the waterfall behind, and that's really all I'm concerned about. I've got the trees at the top which have got a little bit of sun on them, which I'm a little bit concerned about, because I think that could cause me some exposure issues. But really there's only one way to find out. So for ISO 100 at f13 I'm basically getting a tenth of a second, so I would like a longer shutter speed than that. So here is my number one easy tip for photographing waterfalls. And it really is just as simple as taking a humble polarizing filter out with you on every waterfall shoot. In fact, I would go as far as leave a polarizing filter in your camera bag at all times. Now I'm going to switch it to the camera view and I'll show you just what difference it does make fitting the polarizing filter. Right, so we're on camera view. Keep a note of the shutter speed at the bottom, which is 1/8 of a second, f13 ISO 100. Okay, so we've gone to 0.4 of a second. Now, so that's the polarizer has basically blocked some light out, which we would expect. Now let's have a look at the water, and I'm going to adjust the polarizing filter, because what I want to do is I want to try and cut through all the reflection of the sky above on this sort of central patch on the top of the water, and I'm hoping you see that? So that's unpolarized. And there we have a little bit of polarization. I'm now going to adjust that f13 to f16. It's focusing in the centre of the frame, which is fine, that's all good. I put it onto a 2-second self timer. And as you can see, that's the shot. Which I'm actually really pleased with. As for a first up, I think that's actually really nice. I'm going to adjust my composition slightly. I might go a touch wider. Do you see the beauty of my camera being on a tripod here, that I can just move it around how I want? But I know that my exposure is pretty decent. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I think that's a nice first shot. I'm going to see if I can get slightly lower, so I can sort of exaggerate this rock platform a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's definitely, I'm definitely achieving what I want to achieve now. Now I'm actually going to just bring the aperture down to f14. I'm using the aperture as a means of controlling the shutter speed on this one. I'll check the histogram. I've got a feeling I might be clipping. Yeah, I'm clipping slightly. So exposure compensation down a third of a stop. And I'm basically going to carry on doing that to the point when I stop clipping. And now I'm going to have a look around the shot. Look at that lovely water movement there. Yeah, I think that's the shot. But let's have a look on the screen now and see if you agree. Basically guys, that's it. My one real tip for photographing waterfalls is just to take a polarizing filter with you. The humble polarizing filter. You know, they don't have to cost much. Nowadays, even cheaper filters are so much better than they used to be. But it does two things. It basically helps slow the water down a little bit, and also it will help take that reflection of the sky above to make your water a little bit clearer. And I think the problem with waterfalls, especially if you've got a lot of water flowing and the sort of rapids are really flowing nicely, then it's very easy to have your highlights clip. So by using a polarizing filter and cutting through the reflections, you help to control these highlights a little bit. And then just keep in mind while taking the shot to put your camera on your base ISO 100, and then basically use aperture priority mode and control your apertures to control how much you go in focus. And then the polarizer will help extend those shutter speed a little bit longer. And then if you want to get a shorter or faster shutter speed, adjust your aperture accordingly. Or of course you can adjust your ISO if you want. If you really want to start freezing the water, start increasing the ISO and doing a combination of both. But really the key is nice simple tip to get going in pretty much any woodland is just to turn up base ISO, aperture priority, polarizing filter, good to go. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this short video. I've had fun coming here, never been here before, love this waterfall, brilliant. I'd love to come back in autumn, so that's one thing I will keep a note of. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you again soon for another one. Thanks again.